Syria, a place we've heard a lot about over the last decade, mostly through the news. War, conflict, and stories that instill fear and make the country feel distant. Today I'm leaving Amman and traveling to Damascus, crossing the land border from Jordan into Syria. I was nervous not only due to the news, but also because my passport makes everything uncertain at the border. I'm here to look beyond the news of war to see ordinary life in a place that's so often described only through conflict. And I want to understand something in myself too. Is this fear really mine or something I've learned from the headlines? Good morning from Amman, the capital city of Jordan. I unfortunately did not have the time and energy to film partially a video about the city, but it's 6 a.m. in the morning, the earliest intro I've done so far on this channel. Today I am leaving the city. In fact, I'm leaving the country because I'm going to cross into Damascus, Syria. Yes, you heard it right. Syria is the next country I'm traveling to because I will be traveling the next 9 days with Syrian guides, and I am so looking forward to discover this myself, filming it with you so that we can both experience it together. I am going to take a bus to Damascus that may take 3 hours, but I am at a rooftop at this gorgeous homestays I have been staying at for the past couple of nights. I've just been resting because everything has been on the go for the past 7 days. So yeah, anyway, I need to check out now and see you soon on the road. Let's go. So I got to Jet bus station in Abdali in Amman, which is the bus provider in the country, which I highly recommend because it has this route all around the country, especially main tourist areas. So this is one of the examples of the bus. This is actually a bus going to Aqaba, the very first destination I went to earlier, but I got here on time, right? Only to be told that my bus to Damascus will leave at 8, but even though my ticket exactly says 7, so I've got about an hour. We'll get to grab coffee and breakfast and probably see my other fellow travelers along the way. So it's 7:45 and I am still waiting for my bus. I thought initially one of these buses behind me are mine, but turns out no, these are buses provided by the UN for Syrian refugees who've lived in Jordan, and about 300,000 of them consecutively are returning to Syria because the regime has changed and has toppled down. I think things are moving so quickly, things are changing so fast in the country. So my travel to this very special country would be something very special, right? Because I would like to see it myself. I would like to document it, and I would like to share it with you in the best of my ability. So yeah, hopefully, I'm curious myself what's going to happen today. So a bit nervous, but at the same time excited. So we've just done the border checkpoint from Jordan and got a stamp out of the country. We paid 10 dinars, which is equivalent to $15. And yeah, it's been smooth and actually quite pleasant in a way that it wasn't as stressful to some other border crossing I've done. So we're just going to find probably my bus Yes, my bus is over here. So that's my jet bus actually. And there's some other buses that probably is organized from other parts of the country. I'd say that the rest of the passengers are mostly Jordanians. There's not many Syrians, I think, because if they're refugee, they would have been on the bus that was organized by the UN. But yeah, it's been so interesting because the bus itself has been really comfortable. So before the checkpoint, there were a couple of officers that got onto the bus and checked everyone's passport, and then got to the custom for me personally and my travel partner Theresa, which you'll probably see later. And we paid 10 dinars to have an exit custom, and then we lined up, queued at the immigration and got our passport stamp. To be honest with you, I find it interesting that we had to pay $15 to exit as an exit tax. I don't know if it happens to me before to have to pay for this, and perhaps if it were through flights, it would have been calculated within the flight price itself. But yeah, hey, presumably we will have to wait a couple of hours to 3 or worse 4 at the other border, because they would have to check every single thing, understandably, because we are entering the countries. Immigration office, currently waiting to have my visa granted, but unfortunately with my passport being an Indonesian, it was not enough, and I had to show my UK residence permit. Unfortunately, again, with the UK residence permit now being so digitalized, it looks just like a PDF really, and not every officer would have understood this on the system that is trying to be efficient but not. So I feel a bit bad because the rest of the passengers on the bus are currently waiting for me, particularly supposedly if I'm able to be granted, I will have to pay $50. If not, then I will have to take the bus back to Amman probably. I would be so heartbroken because I think Theresa, my Norwegian friend, has got her visa granted already for $75. Wish me luck, guys. Where do I start? I finally got my Syrian visa stamp. It was a lot of fun because I was interrogated kindly about my potential stay, my plan, whereabouts in Syria. And I think initially they weren't so sure whether I would be able to obtain a visa on arrival with this very, very challenging passport I have with me. And therefore it took a lot of time. Even I was brought to a higher official ranking at the custom. So eventually I finally was able to contact my guide. So my guide has been really helpful, Rami from Syrian Guides. And obviously if you're traveling to countries like this, I would highly recommend going with a guide, official guide. And I will definitely be linking all of his contact on every videos I'm producing from the country. But having said that, it's, yeah, finally after about an hour or so back and forth, and then finally I was able to pay and get my visa granted. I wouldn't really recommend traveling this way unless you've had experiences, or even if you have got a stronger passport. I think you'll be able to just enter easily, but with higher visa fee, more than what I paid, which was $50. If you can fly into Beirut and then probably cross the border a lot easier that way. So it's 2:30 and it's been well over 5 hours, close to 6, since we left Amman and still heading on the way to Damascus. As you can see, this is just raw Syria. It is quite empty. But yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing what the capital city of the country looks like. To be honest with you, I think my adrenaline was so high because it has happened to me previously in the past, having to deal with officials. But I was so ready to go back to Amman and fly back home if I couldn't make it to Syria. But yeah, thankfully it did happen, and I am very, very grateful for this opportunity to see the country myself and to be able to record it for you so that you can see it for yourself through the lens that I'm going with. So we have made it to the bus station and currently trying to organize taxi to see our guide, to meet our guide in Damascus. I think the bus station is slightly outside. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
So the driver has been really kind.
I'm so sorry.
It's okay.
Please,
It's okay. That's okay.
Okay. Bye.
Thank you. The taxi driver has been really kind in helping me, sorting things out. We've got our taxi. Oh, that's the car? Can't be. Which one is this car? I think the taxi driver already called Rami, which is our guide, so that he can organize our drop off. So thankfully, it's great. So this is Theresa.
Hi.
We've traveled today together on the bus. That felt like a lifetime. What's your impression of the border crossing?
It took some time.
It took some time because of me.
Yeah.
I was like,
But
how?
otherwise it was quite smooth.
Yeah, it was quite smooth actually, except for my passport. And I felt really bad for other passengers for waiting and everything, and it was just because of me. So we have finally been picked up by our guides, and we are probably going to the hotel or something. Not quite sure, but first look and first impression of Damascus. Some parts of it reminds me of Pakistan, and some parts of it reminds me of other countries with really bad traffic. But so far, it's been too short for me to know what my thought of it. Wow, thank you. Look at this. Look at this. Oh my goodness me. Wow, wow, wow. Wow, this is fantastic. Oh my God, look at this.
It's amazing.
It is amazing, especially after the border crossing today. Oh my God, this feels truly like a luxurious experience just to be in this courtyard, having been on that bus and having been at the check-in point and had to sit being questioned and all. This feels really sweet. Wow. Absolutely stunning, guys. So we've got a welcome drink. Is this hibiscus?
Rose water.
Oh, rose water. Man, this is so fancy. Ooh, I don't think I've ever had any fresh rose water before. That looks so bright and colourful. That felt really refreshing, having been on a bus, on a taxi through such traffic, welcomed by the lovely the lovely hotel staff, and a welcoming drink of rose water. Fantastic so far. So we have been walking along this very, very lively and gorgeous market in Damascus, because not only you've got so many trinkets, sensory overload. Oh, it's been such a good vibe as well so far, first impression, because people are so chill, out in the afternoon, having a good time, and we are walking towards a huge gate in front of me. So in front of me is one of the oldest coffee shops, which seems to be popular for locals. But to my right is this gorgeous gate with a bit of minaret at the top.
Lego. Century BC.
At this gorgeous temple. Absolutely stunning. I just love the fact that despite your nationalities, I think women loves to shop. So in the afternoon, just seeing how everyone is busy. What day is it? It's Tuesday, Wednesday. It's not even the weekend. It's been so interesting. Look at this remnants of structure behind me. It looks absolutely stunning. I think there is this sense of romanticism being in Damascus for the first time at this golden hour. And I think because there is likely no tourism so far as of yet, so then it just feels really authentic in the sense that you're just witnessing life as is, and watching people doing things and go about their day, and lots of shopping for female, which I just really love seeing. So it turns out we've been walking along the old town. That's why there's so many traders, all sorts of stuff really. And in front of me, actually, is part of the citadel. It is absolutely, some parts of it reminds me of Turkey, Iran, and some traffic sense of it reminds me of Pakistan. And probably if I would have gone to Iraq, I think I would have probably seen that similarities. But it's amazing. Look at the citadel. So we've just been exploring this gorgeous old market. When I say gorgeous, it's just got this so much characteristic, and you don't know where to turn, right? Because all activities are happening all at once. But also I think there's this sense of hopefulness that you can feel in the air, and I don't know, people are not so uptight, at least thank you. First impressions, and so far you've just seen people constantly saying welcome to you, which has been so kind and lovely. And obviously I can't speak too much about my experience because I've just been here for a couple of hours. But yeah, life feels very normal, bizarrely here, considering what has happened to this very lovely country and civilization for years.
Now it is just mosque.
Wow. Wow. This used to be a madrasa. Oh. Look at this gorgeous madrasa, which now has turned into a mosque. So madrasa, if you don't know, basically means school, and I think students used to also stay and live here. Gosh, it's so amazing, right? You don't know what's behind these doors and this gorgeous courtyard surrounding you. It's absolutely stunning. Ooh, a local coffee shop over here. Gosh, that would have been so lush to just drink and eat right now. So when I was in Amman, I was able to exchange a few bits of Syrian money, but was advised by the guy who was working there to not exchange all of it given the poor exchange rate. If you're traveling to Syria and are going with Syrian guides, I will have the link at the very top of my description box. But definitely this is one of the very special countries so far that I've been to, even Damascus as a city. I mean, I don't know how to navigate myself around this kind of lively, old, busy, historic, and yeah, so much life, so much character in every details where you turn, really. I'm so looking forward to seeing what I'm going to experience. So we have come to this gorgeous restaurant, Ararat, which reminds me so much of my time in Armenia. I mean, obviously Armenia and Eastern Turkey, right? but I think this is an Armenian restaurant, and I don't know, something about my time being in Damascus, this very moment, has so much nostalgic feeling. Some parts of it, of course, reminds me of my time in Persian land, in Armenia, with the time that I had with the lovely family, looking at like the Armenian landscape in winter, as well as Eastern Turkey, where I was able to cross almost into Iran but didn't, and saw Ararat from that very country.
Like Mercedes-Benz, the best.
So we've got salad as a starter, I think, and there's a bit of hummus to share. And obviously, being in the Middle East, bread is an essential. I am absolutely starving, so this is probably the first meal in however many hours, I can't remember. It is so interesting though to see Armenian aspect in the city, because I didn't expect even to see an Armenian restaurant. That looks a bit like pizza, perhaps their version of pizza, but you've got this meat underneath it. That looks like barbecue meat with some tomatoes on top of olive oil. It smells like lamb, to be honest. What is this?
This burak.
Burak. Oh, okay. Oh, burak. Cheese. Yes. So I love dipping hummus straight on, because the olive oil quality here is much better than what we have back home in the UK. Food just keeps on coming. Wow. So I was told that this is burak, and we have, what is this one?
Kubba.
Kobba. Is that meat underneath it? Syrian kobba. That is interesting. So everything is Syrian. Burak is basically cheese pastry, if I'm not mistaken.
Good.
Wow. That is fantastic. So this kuba, I assume this is something to do with meat underneath it. Yes. So it looks a bit like minced meat, which has this very interesting shape. And to me, I had quite a lot of this when I was in Jordan. Everyone is so fancy here. They dress up so nicely. And here I am, I feel like I'm sweating from today's travel, but it feels really homely, even at a restaurant like this. Everyone's smoking shisha, eating food with family, just such a nice vibe. I just feel very grateful and blissful, if that makes sense. Maybe I don't have all the historical information, political knowledge, but my intention to be here is to only see what life is like, what the locals are like. If we can manage to interact with so many, which seems to be so far, they are so open and willing to interact with me and us. So there has been some just lovely moments as a traveler, as a first timer. If you're interested in traveling with Syrian guides, I am actually going to leave their link, their number at the very top of my description box. This is not a paid sponsor. This is a PR trip, but also something that I do wholeheartedly, voluntarily. I can't wait to see you on the next one, on the second episode from this very gorgeous country. See ya.